So how did Andrew Tate kickstart all this anti-depression? It's basically fake news and cause a right shitstorm, the biggest shitstorm he's ever caused on Twitter. This is what he tweeted. Depression isn't real. You feel sad, you move on. You will always be depressed if your life is depressing. Change it, Fred. Hadouken! My name's Anoop Hothi from K1Anoop.com, where we deliver greater insight into the world of kickboxing and much more. Andrew Tate is a multiple world champion kickboxer and former contestant on Big Brother UK. He's won about 4 different championships, if I recall off the top of my head. He's also guested on the K1 Anoop show a good couple of times when he made his last comeback fight. However, Andrew loves, well, it would seem he loves to be twittering away about all things controversial, whether it's him saying that he's a transgender woman, which he tweeted on August the 12th. If you've been following Andrew Tate on Facebook and Twitter for quite some time, then you would know that, well, you're going to get offended by a lot of the stuff he tweets and puts out and shares out there on Facebook and so forth. That's just his social media nature. But that doesn't excuse personally offending one too many people over very sensitive topics that do affect many human beings on this planet. What are we talking about here? Andrew Tate has been mocking people who have been suffering from mental health issues, in particular depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. He's called it a complete outrage. He's offended countless people again and again and again, but I think of all the things he's done of a controversial nature, I think, Andrew, you hit a whole new, you've hit dizzy new heights when it comes to this offending the masses out there. It's fair to say that because I know from your videos on the K1 Anoop channel how many of the comments I've been deleting away for the last couple of months. Now, I'll tell you a true story. Andrew Tate, away from Twitter, away from Facebook, 101, in the real world, really, really nice guy. You know, I've spent a lot of time interviewing the guy, talking to him and so forth. My experiences, 101, are good. Believe it or not. However, when you look at your phone and Twitter and you're just seeing the carnage that's unfolding, you think, holy flying fucking cow. People basically say he's an attention seeker, he loves the publicity, does anything for attention. But let's weigh it up. He came out with the whole tweet about he's a transgender woman, and he's a lesbian, he's gonna fuck women, he's gonna use women's toilets, and if you're offended, you've got a problem with that, tough titties in so many ways, and you've got to deal with it because you're listening to other people and tolerating other people who are coming out with it. So he was trying to make a point with the whole transgender movement, if you want to call it that. Those aren't my words, I'm just trying to start what's going on here. Now, a lot of people on Facebook, I was looking at it, especially from the fighting community, were very supportive of the points he was drilling home. A hell of a lot of people were outraged by what he was saying. So that was August the 12th. He's come up with the whole, you know, anti-trans vibes. But we can all see through that, and we all know what he was getting at. Some of the stuff on Twitter, I mean, Andrew's gone and retweeted, what's her name? At It's Me Victoria. Okay. She goes, oh hey Cobra Tate, you've done so much for the awareness of mental health lately. Could you RT this to break the stigma? I mean, just look at that. Every 40 seconds, someone in the world dies by suicide, what this meme says. And then next to it, well, part of it, every 41 seconds, someone is left to make sense of it. Goes on. There's plenty of things on his Twitter. And the other thing he said yesterday, comparing depression, state of mind, to a physical disability such as losing your legs is ridiculous. What else has he gone on the record and said? He's gone, depression? I ain't got time for depression. The only time I discuss depression is to let the depressed people know what time it is. And there he is, punching some other fighter in the ring. Now, there's no harm self-promoting yourself. There are good guys and there are bad guys. That's unfortunately the way of life. However, when we go out of the ring and we're in the real world, where we're not all trying to kill each other, we're not all trying to harm each other, it doesn't cost much. It doesn't cost anything to be a bit kind to other people, to be a little bit more considerate. So I'm not by any means standing here and lambasting Andrew Tate for his strong opinion. Another friend of the K1 Anoop show by the name of Vinny Shulman, who was a world-renowned mind coach, okay, and the host of the Mind Diet podcast, He and I had spoken about depression. And what was it that Vinny had to say?
But depression is real. Depression is an affliction. And everyone that's saying, oh, depression, blah, 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 has never suffered it. So everything's easy if you haven't suffered it. So
depression is, an affliction. That means basically that depression is a state of suffering within that individual, from dealing with all the stuff that's got on top of them, making them have a negative mindset. Yeah, Andrew did tweet about, it all comes down to mindset. Sure does. But it's just like, look, I've had Dean James, who battled cancer, and he suffered to some degree of depression. He's even talked about wearing a baseball cap, hiding his face and eyes. We've also had James Heelan on the show talking about depression and mental health issues and his eating disorders. And again, he's another one that wore a cap over his eyes. Even I've gone on the record and spoken about the fact that last summer I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and it was something that at the age of 34 I found out about, and I've been dealing with it since I was 18 years old. I basically had an operation that went horribly wrong. They thought I had a hernia, they sliced an artery, then ended up taking out all of my guts out of me to patch things up, and just dumped it all back in and told my dad to prepare himself to make funeral arrangements. I didn't die in the end, but I haven't forgotten what I went through, especially when you have tubes in and out of your body and you're literally fighting for every breath you have. I have flashbacks, countless flashbacks every year. This is the first year in my life where I've only had about 2 flashbacks this year. I've had flashbacks when I was driving, I've had flashbacks when I've been happy, I've had flashbacks doing really cool stuff, I've had flashbacks that hit me out of the blue, and I've had ups and downs plenty. But then we come back onto that mindset stuff, that's true as well. You've got to develop mental resilience, is what I've realised, and from my own experience, that doesn't mean that I'm bulletproof. I tell depressed people they need a positive mindset and to not give in. People lose their shit and say it's something which can't be helped. Feeling temporarily depressed is real. Being uncontrollably depressed without reason and requiring anything other than a new mindset is BS, as in bullshit. There's a proven science that is dealing with mental health issues, and it's trying to help resolve many different types of mental illness, whether it's eating disorders, whether it's depression, PTSD and so forth. So to say that it's basically fake and that if it's more than this a short moment in time that you feel a bit depressed, that's a bit harsh. Yes, some people are going to dwell in negativity much longer than other people who finally overcome those battles. Some people take longer to learn things. Some people therefore are going to take longer to break old bad habits and form new ones. That's part of the whole mind coaching process, from my layman's understanding, from what it's been explained to me by the likes of Vinny Shulman and others and so forth. So, when you're a world champion kickboxer, you've announced that in December you're going to be making another comeback fight. You're a former Big Brother contestant. On Twitter, you know how to use it to play on attention and gain even more attention. Is Andrew Tate deliberately playing on attention by mocking depression, PTSD and transgenders? Is he trumping everyone? He's a Donald Trump supporter, and he makes that no secret. He is bigging up Donald Trump left, right and centre. Donald Trump is a divisive character, probably one of the most divisive presidents of the USA in modern times. Lo and behold though, he got retweeted by Donald Trump not too long ago. He ended up recently visiting America and hanging out with Donald Trump Jr. He tweeted a picture, and that's pretty cool, the US president's son invites you to Trump's tower and you're hanging out with him. Hey, that's pretty cool. If, of course, you're a Trump supporter and that's the kind of crowd you like and respect. Hey, you're not killing anyone. Not that bad, is it? This wasn't supposed to be a political video today. I try and always stay in the middle with most things. Is he trolling everyone? Is a better thing to ask. Is Andrew Tate the most controversial internet troll right now? Comment away, far below. I am going to get Andrew Tate. I am going to be asking Andrew Tate for a bit of his time this week. I want to have a good chit chat about all that's been going on and whether or not he's still a transgender woman. I don't know, is he? I don't think he really is, but that's just my opinion. What do you all think? Do you think that Andrew Tate was lying about being a transgender woman? Do you think Andrew Tate is absolutely spot on about depression basically being bullshit? Or do you completely disagree with Andrew Tate? And if so, why about depression? And if you can't tolerate Andrew Tate, when you're firing me in the comments below, try and keep it clean. Don't make it too personal, but be concise with why you don't like him, what your issues are. Or hey, there's loads of people out there who are in agreement with him. If you're one of those, put it in the comments below. That wraps up this episode of the K1 Anoop Show. My name's Anoop Hothi. You can follow me on Twitter at K1 Anoop and all social media networks, K1 Anoop. Don't forget, subscribe to K1 Anoop on YouTube for plenty of more what's going on in the world of kickboxing. Like K1 Anoop on Facebook, and you can always listen and download the K1 Anoop Show on iTunes. Don't forget, for all your kickboxing news, go to k1anoop.com.